Hi Romans and Galatians students, welcome to Unit 6. If you have made it thus far and your grades are tracking well in the class, chances are you're going to finish quite strong. I've taught this class for maybe a year and a half to 2 years now, so I've had the opportunity to go through it with many groups of students, and this class is a bit of a contradiction in terms in that it's a very difficult class. It's senior level, it's 400 level, and yet there tend to be a dramatic number of A's. In fact, I think the last time I taught the class, half of the students received the grade of A. So the assignments, as you've noticed, tend to be fairly pass-fail. If you hit the requirements, if you do the work, you're going to get all of the points or most all of the points. The only way that you miss out is if you don't meet the minimum requirements of the assignment. So let me walk through what those are as we prepare for the last 3 units of the class. First, let's talk about the research paper. And quickly, in previous manifestations of the class, turning in the rough draft to me during Unit 7 was a standard requirement. That was taken away from the class, which is unfortunate because it takes away the opportunity for me to give you feedback on your draft before you turn it in. So that being said, if any of you would like to turn in a draft to me and give me adequate time to have a look at it, I'd be happy to do that if you feel like it can assist you, and I typically have several students that take me up on the offer. So let me know how I can serve you in that regard. When it comes to the research paper, I just want to send out another set of reminders. I know I've emailed this to you and put it in the videos in previous units, but I want to make sure that you remember 2 major things. Number 1, hit the minimum length requirement of the research paper, which is inclusive only of the body of your writing. So your title page, your bibliography, your outline, those do not contribute to the minimum length, which I believe is 8 to 12 pages. You can double check that in the research guideline document. And also I want to remind you to use approved research sources. This is a research paper. It's a presentation not of your own opinion or devotional thoughts on the text. It's a presentation of your research, and for that reason I'm expecting that you use current research sources. So all the things I've been emailing you about are still in place. Stay away from stuff on the internet, stay away from websites, stay away from commentaries like Barnes and Matthew Henry that are in the public domain and often more than 100 years old. Use your textbooks and use the ATLA database, which you have access to free through your Lee account. In fact, I think I have a video about how to access ATLA that I can put on the website to help you out in that regard. Also, I want to introduce the homily assignment. And this is a separate assignment from your research paper, but they are linked. In the homily assignment, you are essentially taking the research that you've done on your passage and breaking it down into a talk that you either audio or video record in front of a live audience, or as if you are in front of a live audience. So think in terms of teaching a Sunday school class or preaching a sermon, those of you who are pastors and preachers. You really can't go wrong on this assignment as long as you get it done. So don't overthink it and don't freak out. It's not difficult, and you've already done the research. You're not reading your research paper. You're taking some of that information and making it more accessible for a popular audience. Finally, this week we're going to be diving into one of the more controversial components of the Romans class, and that is the way Paul talks about the sinful nature in Romans chapter 7. Some of you have already chosen this passage for your research paper, so you're already ahead of the rest of us. But there's so many issues and questions in play in Romans 7 as Paul explores this sinful nature through the use of the first person singular. But the question is Paul talking about himself? And if he is he talking about himself before his experience with Jesus on the Damascus Road or after? Other scholars would suggest that perhaps Paul is talking about Israel, and therefore Romans 7 takes on a more historical, abstract connotations. We'll be looking at all these options and posting about them in our discussion together. If I can serve you in any way this week, please let me know. Looking forward to a great unit together. Blessings.